we have been speaking on a very basics of ultrasound today and so starting my lecture. What is ultrasound? Ultrasound is nothing. Ultrasound is nothing but very high frequency sound wave. Normally we humans can hear from 20 to 20,000 Hz frequency of the sound wave, and frequency above 20,000 Hz are ultrasound. Medically used ultrasound is from 2 MHz to 16 MHz. How is this ultrasound produced? It is produced by passing current through piezoelectric crystals which are present in the transducer of the ultrasound probe. This is how transducer probe is from inside. You can see the piezoelectric element is present between two electrodes. When we pass alternating current through this piezoelectric crystal, it makes it expand and contract, and then the electric energy gets converted into the mechanical energy, which is ultrasound, and vice versa. This was first discovered in a naturally occurring quartz by the Curie, and it is also present in Rochelle salt and tourmaline. But nowadays we are using synthetic lead zirconate titanate or PZT crystals for the piezoelectric crystal. This transducer acts in a pulse echo mode. What is that? That means when one cycle, only 1% of the time the transducer is sending the pulse or the ultrasound waves into the tissue, and rest 99% of the time it is listening to the reflected waves from the tissue interface, which is known as the echo. So this is the basic mechanism of action. The piezoelectric crystals present in the transducer head determines the frequency of this probe. Thicker the crystals, lower the frequency, and thinner the crystals, higher the frequency of the probe. The frequency affects the resolution of the image. Higher the frequency of the probe, more is the resolution of the image. But at the same time, the depth of penetration of the ultrasound wave decreases with higher frequency. So that is because of more attenuation of the ultrasound wave is there. So for upper limb blocks, which are the nerves are very superficial, we require a high frequency probe, which gives us a better resolution, and we do not require much depth. So we use 7 to 13 megahertz of probe frequency. And similarly for lower limb blocks, which have more of fat and muscle, we require a low frequency probe so that we can get the depth of penetration. What happens to these ultrasound waves when they go into the tissue? They are either reflected, they are refracted, attenuated, or transmitted. What is reflection? When the ultrasound wave goes to the and hits the tissue interface, it is reflected back to the transducer and received as an echo, as I already told you. This reflected ray is represented as a dot on the screen, with all these dots combine to form the image which we get on the ultrasound screen. The intensity of this dot depends upon the acoustic impedance of the tissue. Acoustic impedance is nothing but the density of the tissue and the velocity with which the ultrasound wave will travel into it. More the acoustic incidence impedance, more is the intensity of the reflection. As can be seen, the white dots, as you can see, are the hyperechoic reflections. These are seen from tissues with high acoustic impedance like diaphragms, tendons, bones. Similarly, these grey dots, as can be seen on this image, are weaker reflections from more solid organs and thick fluid, and they are known as isoechoic. And the black area which you can see in these images, here there is no reflection. The rays are getting transmitted from here, and they are known as hypoechoic or echophase zones. And they are seen where anywhere we can see fluid like in a cyst or urine or blood. The distance of the dot on the screen will depend on the distance of the tissue from the probe, because the velocity of ultrasound wave is almost constant in the tissue at 15-40 meters per second. And so we can calculate the area of interest from the surface just by seeing where the dot is, and basically ultrasound will give you the distance. Some of the rays will go inside, they are transmitted, I have shown you in the echo-free zone, or refracted to deeper structures, and from there they get reflected from there. And as they are passing down, they are getting attenuated, as mainly because of absorption of the ultrasound waves into the tissue, and there is loss of energy in the form of heat, which is absorbed by the tissue. This attenuation is maximum with air, bone, followed by bone, muscle, soft tissue, blood, and so on. That is why when we are doing an ultrasound imaging, we have to put gel on the ultrasound probe. Otherwise, the air interface will not let the ultrasound waves pass through to the tissue. the beam which comes out from the probe is very thin, almost 1 millimeter thick, and the depth of the penetration of this beam we cannot hold because it will keep going on inside the tissue till it is completely attenuated. But the depth of the image which we get on the screen can be controlled by using knobs, and the image which is produced is a two-dimensional image. This is a beam as can be seen graphically. What is the ultimate goal of an ultrasound system? It makes light tissue look same and unlike tissue different. This depends upon the resolving capacity of the system and the processing power. Processing power is nothing but the ability to capture, preserve and display the information in real time. Resolving capacity depends upon the spatial resolution and the contrast resolution. Spatial resolution is further divided into axial resolution and lateral resolution. What is axial resolution? It means when two close objects lie very closely at different depth of the beam axis, they can be differentiated as two objects. This depends on the frequency of the probe. Higher the frequency, more is the resolution, as I told earlier. As you can see here, the beam is going from the probe to that side, and there are two objects lying close together. If the wavelength is high, then you will see them as two objects. It means it's a good axial resolution. But if the frequency is low, they will appear as one object. That means it's a poor axial resolution. Similarly, lateral resolution means to differentiate between two objects lying very close together, but at the same depth in the beam axis. This depends on the width of the beam. As can be seen, if the beam is narrow, we will see them as two objects lying close together. But if the beam is very broad, then they will appear as similar objects. In contrast resolution, it is the ability to differentiate between two tissue types of same reflective property and to see subtle structures in presence of very bright reflectors. It is also called the grayscale resolution. As you can see in the slide of liver ultrasound, you can see the secondary metastasis present in the tissue. So once we get the image, we can improve it by using few knobs present on the machine. This is known as knobology. And those knobs have to be used according to the plan as yet. Like you have to first adjust the depth, then the focus, then there is the time gain control knob, zoom, gain, contrast and Doppler. So what is depth? When we start on the screen, we start with a higher depth, and then increase the depth. As I told you, you can control the depth. Then to put the area of interest at 3/4 depth of the screen, and we leave a small area behind to observe usual artifacts of shadowing and enhancement. As can be seen here, the area of interest is occupying only 1/3 of the screen and rest is wasted space. So this is too much of depth. Here the area of interest is right up to the full screen. So this is too little. And this is the right where 3/4 is the area of interest and last 1/4 is the area to show any enhancement or any acoustic shadows, etc. Focus is present in almost all machines, and it is adjusted to get best lateral resolution. And you must adjust the focus to the level of point of interest. As can be seen here, this yellow knob is showing the focus. It is not on the area of interest, it is below. So you adjust it so that it is on the area and you get the best focal resolution. Time gain compensation is another mode. As I told you, that as the waves are going down, they are getting attenuated. So to increase the echo strength from deeper structure, we use this knob of TGC, and we can increase the amplitude of the waves. Then there is a knob called zoom, in which we can focus on the zoom area of interest and zoom it, and it magnifies by 2 to 3 times. Gain is another knob which is like brightness of the TV as we adjust. This is the right kind of brightness in which we can identify the area of interest and the rest of the tissue differently. This is too high of gain, too much of brightness, and this is too low. Another important knob is the Doppler color mode. This is added to identify vessels. When we are giving nerve blocks, sometimes it is very difficult to differentiate if this is the artery or the vein is nearby. So on pressing this knob, a window with a box will appear, which can be shifted with the help of mouse pad onto the area of interest. And if there is a vessel, the color will come as red and blue. Red if the blood is coming towards the throat, and blue if it's going away. So what are the uses of ultrasound? Indications are increasing day by day for us. Mainly we are using it for vascular access and peripheral nerve blocks, but it is also being used for neuraxial nerve blocks, transesophageal echocardiography, airway assessment, and in pain clinics. William SR in 2003 did a randomized controlled trial on supracapsular blocks using ultrasound and nerve stimulators, and he found that time for forming the block with ultrasound was much less, the surgical block is equal more, and GA supplementation was not required at all in ultrasound guided block, while in 8% of the nerve stimulator blocks, they had to supplement with GA. So he concluded that ultrasound improved the speed, the success rate, the quality of block, which is more faster, denser, and of longer duration. It reduces the complication rates like like intravascular injections, reduces intraneural injections, and since we require lesser number of attempts, it gives less pain during the procedure. So to summarize, ultrasound is nothing but an imaging tool. We should have the knowledge to understand how the image is formed. The transducer of the ultrasound acts in a dual mode. It 1% of the time transmits pulses and 99% it receives the echo of the signal. The piezoelectric crystal present in the transducer helps produce the ultrasound pulse. The pulse goes to the tissue. It is reflected from tissue interface depending upon the acoustic impedance as echo. The echo is received by the transducer again, and mechanical energy gets converted back to electrical energy, which is processed by the machine as dots, which combine to form the image on the screen. Image can be improved by using the various knobs. So I conclude. Thank you for patient listening.
This was the first lecture on the anesthesia conference in Central Hospital Garden Ridge, Calcutta.